Tapping them trees on the farm this weekend, guys. That's what we're up to. It's been a while since I've been involved in this process, that's for darn sure. I've helped out the neighbors. I've done this with wood in the past, with concrete and some wood underneath it and great big barrels, and I guess I've never really seen much success with it. But after I hurt my shoulder this last year and got back on my feet, one of my daughters was really interested in bringing another sugar onto the farm, and well, we've been blessed by neighbors that have maple trees. So back at it we go. But this time I'm determined to do a better job. I'm determined to understand it better and do it, well, hopefully easier and simpler. Especially when it comes to the art of cooking it down, filtering and bottling it up. So I'm back at it. We're back out in the woods. And I'm not doing as much work this time. My daughter Julie here is doing a lot of it. I've resurrected some new pails and some new pipes and, some new taps. Got ourselves some better equipment, and hopefully things will go better on the farm this run with the maple syrup than has been in the past. And it'll add another sugar source to the sustainability of the farm. So that should be good. As far as time of the year, well, Minnesota right now, it's just starting in our neck of the woods tap over the 40-degree mark. So Julie is out tapping trees. Thankfully, she went out this fall and, labeled up a few maples, which is good because it's always a little tricky sometimes to figure them out. But she was able to get that done. She's got plenty of taps. I've got a bunch laying around, and we came up with the tubing again, and really all we had to invest in was the pails. I wasn't going back to the bags. I've dealt with that. When they get a gallon of syrup in them, they're kind of a pain in the butt. And who wouldn't like the metal pails? But the cost is just a killer these days. Back when you could buy pails for just a few bucks, it was a different story trying to make some money in the maple syrup game. But nowadays, metal capped, metal pail hangs on a hook on the spigot. Well, those ain't cheap no more, folks. And they're a little harder to store. So we're back to the 5-gallon pail. It seems to work good. She hopefully won't have to check it quite so often. Put a lid on the top of it, and put a little air vent in it, and put the tubing in it, and call it a day. Hopefully she's able to get, well, depending upon how the season goes, it'd be nice if she could at least get 50 gallons of sap. But, this little one, her determination, she might be able to pull off a lot more than that, too. Either way, I think we're prepped for it. I'm about ready to show her the ropes on boiling it down and jarring it up, and hopefully I do a good job. I've been blessed to have a neighbor at church that's been doing this for a year, and I've got some, ability to watch the YouTube and get myself caught back up and learn some knowledge that way too. Either way, it's all good. Somewhat between Luke and myself and Julia, we'll get this job done, and this is the start of it. We're out tapping, folks. Starting to put those lines in and get that sap a-running. Appreciate you watching. Stick around and we'll show you some of the fun things that we're going to do with this maple syrup this year.